Entrepreneurship, innovation, those are the topics for this first show, and that's the focus for the March issue of The Advocate, actually, too. I know there's a new innovation cluster happening here now. Can you tell us what is an innovation cluster?
Yeah, what an innovation cluster, it opened on February 11th. We have a small business center, and we always talk about what's the difference between that and the innovation cluster. And it's taking businesses that deal with intellectual property and are tech-based. So you have to apply to be part of the innovation cluster. You have to have that concept. You have to have your business plan at a certain point in the business when, you can get that assistance through an innovation cluster. And it's really just getting together with other people, tapping into that network but it has to be specific. Entrepreneurs must be accepted as clients to the innovation cluster to be a part of it. So it's a nice addition to the Kawartha Lakes. This is sort of carryover, but Peterborough has one, and they were dealing with clients in the Kawartha Lakes, so they decided to look at opening one up here as well. And so now on February 11th, we actually opened up our own one here in the city of Kawartha Lakes, and it'll be a nice addition. Anything that helps our entrepreneurs and businesses get started is near and dear to my heart.
So I just want to clarify that a bit more. So once this is fully up and running, if someone were to walk into that office, what would they see?
They'll probably see cubicles. They'll see workspaces where, they have access to mentors. It won't just be an ongoing people sitting around looking to talk to somebody like a therapy session. It'll be, businesses where, they can do some of their work there. They can get some of their fundamentals in place. They have access to a phone, a computer, and they'll have access at certain times to, others who will sit around a table and throw some ideas around. They might set it up as an individual mentor for each business that's there. It might be a round table mentorship that they can tap into. There's different ways to go about it. It's just people who have these ideas and these concepts and geared toward that tech part of it are going to have an opportunity to, grow their business and get a little bit of how do I do this? I have this great idea. I'm thinking about this. What do you think? And just having some people available to bounce some ideas off of who've maybe been there before and are leaders in the community and have some feedback to present to them.
Are they all working together in like industries?
Not necessarily.
No?
I think you can see quite a variety of different industries, but they'll all be geared toward that innovation and that tech part of it. Okay. So I know I took a walk around one down in Coburg, I believe it was one time, and we met many different businesses. One was fishing lures online, and they were selling them all around the world. And it just, how did you get to this point? Well, this innovation cluster helped me, with that tech part of the business, and it was quite a growing concern. And then eventually the goal would be they get to a certain point where they move out, get their own space, and run their business and employ people.
So how does the Small Business Entrepreneurship Center here connect with the Innovation Cluster?
Yeah, the Small Business Center, we've had a part of Kawartha Lakes for a long, long time, and it's an excellent place to learn business fundamentals. Anybody can access the resources that they have to offer. It's really just a place where people can come in, and it doesn't have to be any specific industry. They're just, I've got this idea, I'm thinking about starting my own business. What do I need to do? Well, you can incorporate, you can be a sole proprietorship, how do I set up books? How do I do it properly? Do I have to register for HST? Those kind of questions. It just, more basic things to start a general business. And that could be, we've met some of the leaders from some of the business center, people who have grown in. It's everything from people making soap to, people selling flowers to gardening and landscaping businesses. So it's really just showing them, you can't just go out and start a business. You want to make sure that you're doing it properly, the fundamentals, so that you don't come back and, bites you a few years down the road if you become very successful and start making some money. Then you want to make sure you've got it set up properly right from the start. So,
and that's part and parcel of that new, environment for jobs that we're seeing. It's more smaller businesses that are starting up, sole proprietors, or very small ones instead of the big industries.
Yeah, and I think that's where you're going to see most of the growth, coming, and not just in Kawartha Lakes, but in Canada, is from these small businesses, entrepreneurs. A small business center or an innovation cluster are great tools to assist in somebody starting a business. But an entrepreneur is sort of from the heart. You can't just, because there's an innovation cluster doesn't mean your business is going to be successful. At the end of the day, you have to have the drive and the will. This gives you some of the knowledge, to help you with some of those steps, but that's not an easy thing, running your own business. People that run their own business struggle with a lot of different things, and there's no guaranteed income. It's about how hard do you want to make this work. And at the end of the day, the successful entrepreneurs are the ones that sometimes just didn't take no for an answer and just found a way to make it work. And these tools that we can offer to people are I think, tools that just sort of allow them to, to sort of get a little bit of a leg up right from the start.
That's great. Well, there's lots of things happening in the city that connect to entrepreneurship, and I'm thinking of the $1 Million Makeover program.
Yeah, the $1 Million Makeover has been great that's more for assisting businesses that already exist. It's not just about new entrepreneurs. It can be somebody that wants to renovate or somebody that wants to expand their business. We've added on our DC policy, we've done away with some of our DC charges for commercial and industrial to assist somebody that wants to grow their business. Maybe they're looking at adding on to a part of their business, been thinking about it for a few years, hiring a few more people. We're trying to make that easier at the municipal level to do that. But the $1 Million Makeover is a great tool for businesses on a main street, or smaller businesses that want to fix up their storefront, or their awning, or a patio, or make themselves accessible, for future access. Those are great programs for that. So we've got these programs in place. We're trying to do whatever we can to assist these businesses. But I'll go back and say, at the end of the day, it's up to the businesses to, number one, to take advantage of these programs, and number two, to apply it to their business and hopefully make their businesses very successful.
Okay, well, we've got 1 minute till break. I would love to have you give a shout out to the new Boys and Girls Club Awards, the Youth Awards.
Yeah, we've got some Youth Awards coming to the Boys and Girls Club, introduced this year alongside their 50th anniversary. Youth and entrepreneurs, when you say entrepreneurship is near and dear to my heart, it is, but when you start talking about getting youth involved in that, and then it just becomes very exciting. And these are some really exciting, awards that are coming up, and we're going to be a part of it at the city to, sort of help along the way. And I think it's a great example of, getting young people involved in the process, whether it's environmentally or recyclables, or just innovation and entrepreneurship, and how can I start a business to help with some of this stuff. And it's these young minds we need to tap in. So anything we can do to get them on board with it, I'm on board with it for sure.